Welcome to Only the Paranoid Survive. How to exploit the crisis points that challenge every company and career. An audiobook summary based on the groundbreaking book by Andrew Grove, former CEO of Intel. In this summary, you'll discover the mindset and strategies that propelled Intel to global leadership in the face of relentless change and fierce competition. Andrew Grove shares his unique perspective on leadership, crisis management, and the importance of staying vigilant, even paranoid, to recognize those rare, decisive moments when the rules of business fundamentally shift. These moments, which Grove calls strategic inflection points, can make or break a company or career. Whether you're a manager, entrepreneur, or simply someone eager to understand how to adapt and thrive in uncertain times, Grove's lessons are universally relevant. Throughout this audiobook, you'll hear practical insights on decision-making, the courage to reinvent yourself, and the power of fresh perspectives, all illustrated through Grove's own experiences at the helm of Intel One. Let's begin our journey into the world of the paranoid, and the only ones who truly survive. Summary of Only the Paranoid Survive by Andrew Grove. Andrew Grove's book, Only the Paranoid Survive, presents a management philosophy forged through his leadership at Intel. Grove argues that companies and individuals must remain vigilant, even paranoid, to recognize and exploit critical moments, which he calls strategic inflection points, that can fundamentally change the business landscape and determine future success or failure. Grove's approach is rooted in his experience steering Intel through dramatic industry changes and crises, including the company's transition from memory chips to microprocessors, competition from Japanese semiconductor manufacturers, and public relations disasters like the Pentium chip flaw one. Universal lessons in Intel's history. Grove's philosophy is not limited to high-tech industries. He emphasizes that all managers can learn from his experiences. The book highlights Intel's remarkable growth, driven largely by Moore's Law, which has led to exponential increases in processing power and Intel's market value. However, Grove is quick to point out that Intel's success was never guaranteed. In the mid-1980s, Intel faced severe financial difficulties, including layoffs, plant closures, and significant losses, and saw many of its early competitors disappear. Grove's vigilance and willingness to reinvent the company were key to its survival. One. Strategic inflection points and the Six Forces framework. Grove introduces the concept of strategic inflection points, moments when an order of magnitude change in the business environment forces management to act decisively. To identify SIPs, Grove expands on Michael Porter's Five Forces model by adding a sixth force. Complementers, companies whose products or services make yours more valuable. Grove advises managers to scan their environment for 10x changes in any of these six forces, as such shifts signal the need for critical decision-making. One. Analytical and humble decision-making. Grove's decision-making process is analytical and scientific. He encourages leaders to challenge their own assumptions, seek out counterexamples to their current thinking, and avoid confirmation bias. Grove believes that a healthy dose of fear or paranoia is necessary to prevent complacency, but he also warns against unhealthy fear that stifles open communication. He fosters a culture at Intel where employees feel safe to speak up, even if it means challenging the CEO. One. The memory chip crisis and the power of fresh perspectives. Grove's most significant challenge came when Japanese memory chip manufacturers aggressively undercut Intel's prices, creating a crisis. After much debate, Grove realized that no solution within the memory business would save Intel. He and Gordon Moore made the bold decision to pivot Intel's resources to microprocessors, a move that saved the company and set it on its path to industry leadership. Grove emphasizes that management's attachment to the status quo can be a barrier to change, and that fresh perspectives, sometimes from outsiders, are necessary to overcome this inertia. One. Self-doubt as a strength. Grove's willingness to doubt his own ideas and seek out contradictory evidence is a recurring theme. He highlights the importance of testing hypotheses by actively trying to disprove them, rather than just seeking confirmation. This approach is illustrated by Intel's internal debate over risk and CISC chip architectures. Grove remained skeptical of risk, but supported an experimental project, which ultimately served as a profitable insurance policy, while Intel continued to succeed with CISC-1. The pitfalls of flawed logic. The Pentium crisis. Grove recounts Intel's handling of the Pentium chip flaw as a lesson in crisis management. Initially, Intel downplayed the issue, but negative publicity and IBM's response forced the company to implement a no-questions asked return policy, resulting in a significant financial loss. Grove admits that Intel failed to recognize its own transformation into a consumer brand and should have responded more proactively, as leading consumer products companies do. He concludes that self-criticism and transparency can preempt external criticism and help manage crises more effectively. The next chapter, Intel's ongoing challenges. Even as Intel continues to thrive, Grove remains vigilant. He notes that the company now faces a new SIP. Its chips are so powerful that consumers have little incentive to upgrade. To address this, Intel is collaborating with complementers to develop new products and applications that will drive demand for its next-generation chips. Grove's ongoing strategy is to experiment and adapt, ensuring that Intel remains at the forefront of the industry. Pattern recognition and hypothesis testing. An illustrative exercise in the book demonstrates the importance of testing hypotheses by seeking to disprove them. Most people stop testing once they find confirming evidence, but Grove emphasizes the need to actively look for counterexamples to avoid flawed conclusions. Summary of strategies. Intel's success is rooted in Moore's law and the company's ability to continuously reinvent itself. Grove's leadership philosophy centers on vigilance and adaptability, especially in the face of rapid technological change. His Six Forces framework helps leaders anticipate and respond to strategic inflection points. Grove's analytical and humble approach to decision-making, combined with a culture of open dialogue, ensures that Intel remains alert to new threats and opportunities. The memory chip crisis underscores the value of fresh perspectives and the need to break free from the status quo. Grove's insights into organizational change highlight the importance of objectivity and the ability to question one's own assumptions. Ultimately, Grove's message is clear. Only those who remain paranoid, vigilant, and adaptable will survive in a world of constant change.